Thank you, King. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure for me to be here with you. And I want to talk very frank with you tonight. You know, last Monday night we had a debate here in West Bay. Tara Rivers was there, and Laurie Young, and Burns Rankin, and myself. And I dealt with the issue of pensions for the foreign expat, okay? I said nothing about our local pensions. But let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, and she grabbed that and ran with that, thought she would make something big out of that. If you don't know me by now, as far as me taking care and having an interest in our local Caymanians, then you don't know who I am, okay? Believe you me, we discussed this. When it comes to pensions, we're going to look at that law, look at the possibility of bringing funds back onshore, because I heard our leader mention a statistic recently that the fund lost something like $200 million over a period of 4 or 5 years. You know, that is ridiculous. When we have all these needs here in the Cayman Islands for mortgages, budget funding for government, that we could get a decent return on our funds. And also, you'd still be in a position where you can borrow from your pension account or fund to help these first homeowners build their homes, okay? So don't let anybody make you believe that I don't have your best interest at heart, okay? That is the furthest thing from the truth. And I heard somebody mention tonight that she's walking around saying that she got West Bay South whipped or won. Let me tell you, if Tara Rivers beat John Jefferson Jr. in West Bay South, there's something wrong with that. It will never happen, ladies and gentlemen. Mark knows, me and him was involved in many battles in the Legislative Assembly. Trust me, I'm a fighter, okay? And from the day that I was chosen as a candidate for Cayman Democratic Party here in West Bay, I've been fighting. I've been visiting. I've been out there making sure that I know what your needs are, okay? And trust me, after May 24th, I will be elected as the candidate for the West Bay South constituency. I was one of them in 2013 that voted for Tara, because I said, well, here's a young lady, is intelligent, she's qualified, and let's give her a chance. She did absolutely nothing with that opportunity. Nothing. Nothing. Okay? Talk about what she did in education. I understand she visited the Cayman Islands High School, the John Gray High School, twice in her term. When you are a minister, you are in charge, okay? How do you determine what the position is if you don't go out among the people and visit those institutions that you are responsible for? One day I was there with Rena because she was a substitute teacher at John Gray, and she was coming in, I think we were doing reading week or something. She would come in and read a little poem or whatever to class. It takes more than that as education minister to make a difference. Ladies and gentlemen, she has failed, and she has failed miserably at what she was responsible for. And according to Mark, when Mark ran in 1988 against me, but once we were elected, we were colleagues from West Bay. She refused to sit with these boys who are your candidate, your representative from West Bay in the Legislative Assembly. Refused. And now come talking about she has your interest at heart. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. And also, how in the world is she going to now pretend that she's an independent after running 4 years with PPM?
Yeah, and keeping them alive.
and keep them alive. Huh? Ladies and gentlemen, don't be fooled. Okay? Don't be fooled. And one thing she has going for her, she can talk. Oh, she can talk. But she gets nothing done. Okay? She doesn't get anything done. Believe you me, after May 24th, and I have no doubt this can happen, the Cayman Democratic Party will be elected as a majority in the Legislative Assembly. And once again, the Honorable McKeever Bush will be your next premier. You know, Mike and I have always had a good relationship. Even when we were not running on the same ticket, we always had a relationship. And you know, I remember when he was before the courts, something said to me, say, John, today it's Mike, tomorrow might be you. So you better stick together. So I made a commitment that day. I say, you know something? From here on in, I'm going to be with McKeever Bush. You notice I didn't decide to run in West Bay this year until I was sure that I was going to be with Cayman Democratic Party, because that doesn't make sense. What they want to do, they want to divide you and control you, okay? But that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. And what Charles was saying about the PPM is absolutely true. Over the past 4 years, I remember one day we had a problem down on Cardinal Avenue. And I decided, okay, well, let me call Moses. He's in charge of tourism. I called, I left a message, no return. I called his director of tourism, no return. They have no time for nobody other than the privileged few that supports them in their campaign. They have no interest. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't even consider anybody in West Bay other than the Cayman Democratic Party members. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I want to deal with a very important issue that a lot of our Caymanians depend on for a living. That is the area of tourism, okay? And you know, tourism is one of the main pillars of our economy. The other one being financial services. And tourism spans a number of important areas such as medical tourism, sports tourism, and all the other areas. But what I want to talk about tonight is your traditional areas of tourism, such as the water sports business, cruise tourism, stairway tourism, and also the hotel and condo business, okay? When it comes to the water sports business, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, Stingray City, for example, is one of the major tourist attractions, not only in the Cayman Islands, but in the world. And it was started by our fishermen right here in West Bay. The late Captain Marvin E. Banks, Captain Crosby, Captain Frank, and others. Okay? Captain Ortiz? Yeah. And what happened, because of them doing what they did in that area, the stingrays naturally came. Okay? So it became a huge attraction. And it makes me feel good, ladies and gentlemen, when I go out there, and it's only occasionally, because I don't know about you, but I don't like stingrays, you know, walking all over me and stuff. But it makes me feel good when I go in that area and I see our Caymanians who make a living from that business taking care of our visitors, okay? And we have to, ladies and gentlemen, I have no apologies for being in a position where I stand up for Caymanians. Okay? Why should we have to apologize? It has what happened if we don't take care of our own, and there has to be a balance. There has to be a balance. Okay? We have something like 125, 130 different nationalities that live, work among us here in the Cayman, and we all live in harmony. We all live in harmony. Okay? But in order to keep that harmony in place, you need to make sure that our Caymanians have their fair share of what's going on. Okay? So when it comes to the water sports business, and especially the Stingray City area, North Sound, I believe it's time for government, and I'm going to try to convince my colleagues here, and a lot of them support what I'm going to say. There has to come a time when we control that area for Caymanians. Okay? How I would do it, I would require that anybody that operates in that area that's a Caymanian be a part of a water sports association. The reason for the association is because if you have an association in place, then association can determine fees. Okay? What's happening now, Captain Eugene might charge $30 for taking a passenger to Stingray City. Bernie come behind, offer $10. So they're cutting one another's throats in that area, and nobody is really making any money. Okay? But if you, as a group that operate in that area, is a part of an association, and you say, okay, well, here is the fare. Here's the fare that we're going to charge. If you want to go to Stingray City, this is what's going to cost you. Because let me tell you a little secret. The only people who are really making money out of this business is the cruise ships and the big foreign companies that operate here in the Cayman Islands. Okay? They go to the cruise ships and they cut a deal. And a lot of times, the deal is bigger than they can handle. Okay? But just out of greed, they cut the deal, and then they give the crumbs to the small Caymanian who don't have that kind of influence, right? No, we have to limit the activity in that area to Caymanians. Only. Okay? And you have, like I said, require anybody who operates in that area to be a part of the association. If you don't have an association, if you're not a member of the association, you can't operate in the North Sound. Okay. The association would also make sure that the equipment that's used in that area, by way of boats, whatever, are properly, equipped. They're insured, got a liability insurance in place. And also the association is in a position where they can market the services of the association members. Okay? So that is what we have to do, ladies and gentlemen. We have to do that in order to make sure that our Caymanians get their fair share of what's going on in the North Sound. And I would also require, and I was talking to Sean earlier, and it is in place, I would require that every operator in that area have a permit, okay? And only those who have a permit can operate in that area, but you also have a patrol in that area to make sure that the rules are complied with, okay? I would limit the big boys that going in there, talking about red sales and the others, they're going to try to gobble up everything. I would limit the number that they can carry to that area on a daily basis, okay? The other thing that we need to do, ladies and gentlemen, and Mark and I have fought for this since 1992, I think it was, 96. If you go into any of those hotels along 7 Mile Beach, the only company that's represented in those hotels is Red Sails. We negotiated with the hotels at one stage, and they said, okay, we're going to put a rack up so your local boys can put their brochures up in order to get business as well. What they do, when our local boys go and put brochures on the rack, take the rack and put it in the back so nobody knows what's going on. They can't see it. They have to be in a position where they are monitored. And not only that, our local boys, through the association, should have a presence. They should have a desk. They should have somebody employed there who are going to be promoting business for them. Right? You know? So, ladies and gentlemen, when Tara Rivers talk, but I don't have your interests at heart, don't believe it. Okay? The other thing, when it comes to cruise tourism, millions of people come here on the cruise ships every year. Every year. Okay? But numbers don't mean that our boys and girls, our ladies and gentlemen who are in that business are making a whole lot of money. You know why? Because what's happening in that area is that the cruise ships are booking even tours to the beach. When we were there in 1992, we made sure that the cruise ships understood that that business was to be left to the independent taxi and tour operators. And up until today, those taxi operators are still saying, you know, back in those days, we had more business than we could handle. All right? And that is the position we want to get back to, where we sit down with the officials from the cruise ships and say, you know something, here are the rules. We don't mind you coming to the Cayman Islands, but here are the rules. And our people have the benefit like everybody else. Okay? So we need to put that in place as well. I don't know how many of you visit public beach, but you need to do that at least once or twice just to get an idea what I'm talking about. What's happening at public beach right now? You got your tour operators and your taxis who are charging $5 from the cruise ship port to the beach. Okay? What has happened? The cruise ship directors have told their people now, you can walk to the middle of town and take a bus and charge $2.50. Okay? So what's happening now? There's a war going on public beach between your taxi and tour operators and your local buses. Okay? That has to stop. You're making little enough money now. Now you got to settle for $2.50 rather than $5. I think the way to handle that is say, you know something? Even if a cruise ship passenger, and you might agree with me, but this is where I think, a cruise ship passenger walks in the middle of town and say, I want to go to the beach, that bus operator say, okay, but it costs you $5. There you go. Okay? There you go. You finish. You finish. And the other thing we need to do with regard to that business, we need to put dispatchers on the beach. You want to come there around 3 o'clock in the afternoon and you see what I'm talking about. They are the beach, back to the cruise ship, back to the cruise. You know, no, man. The Cayman Islands are not known for that kind of business. Okay? You do the same thing when you're leaving the beach as you did when you were leaving the port. You line up orderly, and as you line up, the first in line, loads and gone. And you do it on the line. That is how we do business here in the Cayman Islands. And it has to be controlled, okay? Has to be controlled. And the other thing to keep in mind is that some people there are not good ambassadors for tourism or the Cayman Islands. And those people, I guarantee you, will lose their license on the Cayman Democratic Party government if they continue that kind of nonsense, okay? We can't afford that. We really can't afford that, you know, ladies and gentlemen. So there's a lot to be done as far as tourism is concerned. And those are some of the things that I think we should do. Where we should really be focusing when it comes to tourism is our stay-over tours. They come here, they probably stay a week to 10 days. They rent taxis, they visit a restaurant, they spend money. Those are the kind of people that we should be encouraging here in the Cayman Islands. I was told the reason why, in order to encourage that, you need additional capacity, accommodation-wise. Well, we got it. The New Kempton was just opened recently. I hear there's another 5-star on the way. maybe two. So you shouldn't run short of space. But that is the area that we should be encouraging. What happens, ladies and gentlemen, if your cruise ship passenger has a good experience when they visit here in the Cayman Islands? They normally come back as a stay-over tourist. And that's what we want to encourage, okay? But, ladies and gentlemen, there has to be rules in place. There has to be rules in place, okay? So, and ladies and gentlemen, I didn't think much about medical tourism until I visited Health City some time ago. Let me tell you, one thing I can say about our leader, the Honorable McKeever Bush, the man has vision. The man has vision, okay? Because the Health City is an asset to the Cayman Islands. I mean, you go up there, they're busy. Them boys are busy. And not only that, they do an excellent job. And one of the things I would like to encourage once I'm elected and part of whatever we're doing, I would like to encourage government to sign an agreement with them rather than send people to First Baptist overseas. Send them to East End. If the specialty is available there, why send them not overseas? Okay? That is very expensive because they not only the patient normally goes, he carries a family member or whatever, and then you got accommodation and a whole bit overseas, right? Do it right here in the Cayman Islands. Let the money circulate right here in the Cayman Islands. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we have something special here in the Cayman Islands known as Cayman, okay? We are a special destination. And there's a lot of talk now about, and we talked about it for a while, about cruise ship docking and the whole bit. Our government will make that decision once we have looked at the facts and we have gotten input from the operators in the industry, and we are convinced, when we are convinced that it's the right thing to do, then we will make that decision. So, ladies and gentlemen, be confident that we will do what is right for you here in the Cayman Islands, and we will take care of you. You know, I had a young lady, this was back in between 88 and 2000, when I was a member. I was down at my office, and I had a young lady come to see me one afternoon, and she was a Jamaican national, but she was married a Caymanian. And apparently the husband had walked away and gone Florida or somewhere, and she was staying with her in-laws. And they put her out. They said, well, we need a room or the house because we need to rent the place. So he said, Mr. Jefferson, you know what we do? He said, I have 3 children. I have 3 children. And what I do, me and my children sleep in my car. We go to the nearest water hole the next morning. We take a shower or whatever. I got my kids ready for school. I take them to school, then I go to work. Okay? That is still going on here. It's worse now than ever before. With all the homes that are being lost in this country. We have to do something about that. Okay? Because what happens, when things are tight, you would expect the banks to be in a position where they work with you. But I am not convinced that it's not a conspiracy going on between the banks, the lawyers, and the real estate agents. Okay? You know, so trust me, that is an issue that has to be addressed once we are elected May 24th. So ladies and gentlemen, keep the faith, spread the word, because we need your help, and there's no use of you saying we can vote for McKeever without voting his party, because McKeever can't do anything by himself, okay? We need, like Charles said, we need a 4 here in West Bay: Bernie, Captain Eugene, the Honorable McKeever Bush, and John Jefferson Jr. in West Bay. And Georgetown, we have 5 candidates. I've been promoting them every day Somebody will come to me and say, well, John, I'm in so-and-so. Well, I say, well, let's see who is not here. Oh, Tess is not here. You got to vote for it. Oh, okay. As long as you tell them who to vote for, they're going to vote for it. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, May 24th, you can see a landslide in this country. You can see a landslide. The majority of the elected members will be Cayman Democratic Party, and we're going to have a party after that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave some space and time for the others members. But thank you, God bless you, and good night.